They'd be like, she's really fast, or she runs track. That was always the adjective or the description that came after the introduction of me. I liked being that person. And then all of a sudden it was completely stripped away from me, and I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know, who am I? Every training cycle is about figuring out, how can I break my body? Texas sun, 100 degrees. If you put your hands or knees on the track, you'll probably get burned. You're crossing the finish line and your teammates are pulling you off the ground, and then the next rep, you're pulling them off the ground. And then we strength train. A whole bunch of Olympic lifts, power cleans, box jumps, front squats, back squats, sled pulls. We push ourselves to the limit, breaking your body apart and coming back the next day and doing it over and over again. In 2016, when we were at the Olympic Games and we were running the prelim of the women's 4x100 relay, our second to third leg dropped the baton. I was standing there at the anchor leg waiting to receive a baton that was not coming to me. And in that moment, I had that thought of like, wow, I've trained what feels like your whole life for a moment that now seemed to be gone and stripped from me within the blink of an eye. So it takes you to a place of realizing that you have to make what you do worth it. As the story goes, we got to rerun and run by ourselves, and we made the final, and we came away with a gold medal in the 4x100 relay. I was ecstatic. I was on top of the world. But I was coming back to Austin, Texas, knowing that I wanted my life to look different. I didn't want to be the same college girl. I didn't want to keep being around those same group of people. I didn't want to keep partying. I didn't want to continue being that person. But I was also scared. I was scared of feeling alone and lonely and not having anyone and not knowing what I was going to do next. I got invited by my friend, Emmanuel Acho. He'd actually be mad at me for saying friend, by my best friend, Emmanuel Acho, to come to a game night. And I was hesitant at first, and I was like, okay, I'll come to this game night. And I walked into a room full of people who were complete strangers to me, but that was going to become my new spiritual community, a community of people who have very little in common besides our love for game nights and our love for Jesus, who were going to become exactly what I needed. On January 27th, 2018, at the end of a race, I ran into a wall, stopping, and completely ruptured my Achilles tendon. The Achilles is the strongest tendon in the human body, and you need it to do literally everything. Walk, jump, crawl, climb stairs, stand up, sit down. I had it surgically repaired, but I was being told, hey, you might never be the same runner that you were ever again. This may be a career-ending injury for you. I was angry at God, at the sense of, I thought this is what I was supposed to be doing, and if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, then why did you take it away from me? My identity was built in track and field. All of a sudden it was completely stripped away from me, and I didn't know, who am I? I'm so independent and used to doing everything completely on my own, and I was at a point where I had to learn to ask for help. And it was tough, but I was right where I needed to be. For the first time, I realized that I was surrounded by people who believed in me. And not only did they believe in me, they believed that God had a plan for my life and that He was still going to be faithful through it all. I'd never been in a place where every single one of my people that I hung out with and talked to were someone that I could also be like, hey, I need you to pray for this, and they actually would, not just say that they would. And it also made me realize that this is why we're supposed to live our lives together like this, so that when one person in your community is hurting or is fallen or can't fight their battle on their own, that you have 10 or 15 or 5 or 3 or 25 people there who will step up and fight the battle for them that they can't fight for themselves. And that was the beginning of me really picking myself up and putting myself back together. Just because something happened that steered me away from what I thought was the path of least resistance doesn't mean that God changed, doesn't mean His plans for my life had changed. It just means that I had to go through a little bit of something first. I've realized that I've been in a tough situation that I didn't think that I could make it out of, or I was so unsure of how I was going to make it out of, and I look back at it and I was like, wow, that was really easy, and it was God's hand in all of it. Prior to my injury, I was always focused on breaking my body down, and now I had to focus on putting my body back together. When I get on the track, it's like, you did not wake up today to be mediocre. That's the talk that I'm giving to myself. You can do this. You only have one more rep. Take it every 50 meters. I wore my I am second bracelet. It would always just be there as like you're not doing this for you. This is not your thing that you're doing, and like you have to keep going. I think the sweetest part of community is the ability to be vulnerable with people and let them see your true self and who you really are. And without Jesus Christ, I would not be who I am, I would not be where I am, and I would not be doing what I'm doing. Everything in my life has become solely because of who Jesus is and who He continues to be. My name is Morolake Akinosun, and I am second.